Things I don't do for my husband because I'm his wife, not his mom. Number one, I don't do his laundry. I used to do his laundry. We've been married for 6 years. I used to do his laundry. And in like the first year of marriage, he would get frustrated if I like didn't get to the laundry that week. I've got enough clothes, but he didn't. He'd get frustrated. And I was like, no, I'm not your mom. Do your own laundry. Like my older son does his own laundry. My husband now does his own laundry. I do my laundry and the little one's laundry. I won't do your laundry. Now, if I need some extra clothes to throw in a load, I'll throw his in there with mine. I'm not a total about it, but I don't do his laundry on a weekly basis anymore.
You go, girl! You get it, girl! You hear that? You got it, girl!
I find it awfully interesting how every single time a modern house broad lists off all the things she's not willing to do for her husband, she always adds in the caveat that she doesn't do it because she's not that man's mother. And that's always their go-to argument. I am not going to do this laundry list of things because I'm not your mother and you're a grown man and you could do it yourself. And that's just an incredibly rude thing to say. Just because a man wants some help around the house with his clothes and cleaning and all that stuff does not mean he's looking for a replacement for his mother. He's actually looking for someone who's going to help support the freaking household. But modern housewives nowadays are more fixated on what they are not willing to do over what they are. And it's come to the point where most modern house broads, they don't want to do anything. They will come up with the most bizarre excuse as to why they shouldn't have to do anything, with the biggest being, she is not his mother, which is just an absolutely fantastic way of giving the middle finger to your husband for virtually no reason.
Number two, on that same note, I do not follow behind him and clean up after him. His nightstand has cups and stuff on it. That's his responsibility to get it to the sink. My mom used to allow her husband to just leave all of his dishes throughout the day, all over the house, and then one of us would have to clean up after him and do the dishes. And I refuse. You're a big boy. Put your dishes in the sink, in the dishwasher, get them clean. I'm not doing it.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Well, I don't need to hear any more to know that you make your husband's life a living hell. I mean, just listen to how you're talking, woman. Every single thing out of your mouth is how you're either not going to do something, about how your husband is immature and incompetent, or by being a condescending little harlot by referring to your husband as a big boy. And when we take a look at all those god-awful tattoos you got covering your body, I don't think it's wise for you to be heralding yourself as the paragon of maturity there, lady. You're selfish, you're entitled, you're rude, and you disrespect your husband, all because you want to show that you're a strong and independent boss bae ass queen who don't need no man except for his freaking paychecks, as well as the four walls and a roof that he places over your head, the children that he provides for you, and all of the other fun things that fall on the shoulders of being a husband. The least you can do is, if you're not going to help him out around the house, is at least shut up about what you're not willing to do, or maybe do a video about what you're willing to do. I know it'll be about 5 seconds, but it's the thought that freaking counts, woman.
Number three, I do not clean his sink. We have separate bathroom sinks. I won't clean his. I'm not saying that mine is the cleanest in the world. Mine can get gross, but I won't clean his. Again, I'm not your mother. I am your wife. I'm not your mom. You are a big boy. You are an adult. You can clean up after yourself. And he knows this. He knows all these things. That's fine. Like, he's a big boy. He can clean up after himself. I'm not going to do it. I'll clean my sink. I'm not going to clean his sink. Even if it gets to the point where it's grossing me out, I will not clean it, because I just don't feel like it's respectful to be like, here, clean up after my mess and clean up after my spit and all my nastiness. Like, no thanks, it's not gonna do it. And I'm sure comments are gonna be like, oh my gosh, but you're his wife, you should be doing those things, you should be taking care of him. No, we both work full-time jobs. Not only do we work full-time jobs, we work for the same freaking company, but I work from home, and that's not easier. I have 2 toddlers that I'm raising at home, so I'm being a stay-at-home mom and I work full-time. I don't have time to take on extra responsibility for a grown man. You could think I'm a bad wife, but it works for us and it causes a whole lot less fights. Also, banana pudding with Heath. Oh my god.
Oh, poor you.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry, lady. I had absolutely no idea that throwing a bunch of clothes into a machine and pushing a button or wiping a rag across a sink was just so much work, and I'm sorry for not recognizing the responsibilities that you foster. I mean, good lord. I have absolutely no idea how you have the time or the energy to whip up a bunch of junk food, sit in your marital bed, and then shove that food down your gullet as you make a laundry list of all of the ways you're not willing to support your husband. Heavy is that the head that wears the crown, right? But the best part of all of this is that if a husband were to actually make a video that even remotely resembles this, you know, making a list of things that he's not willing to do for his wife because she's strong and independent and doesn't need a man to help her with anything, that man would not only get shadow banned to oblivion, he would also get doxxed, swatted, and all sorts of fun stuff. That's because it is totally okay in today's day and age to bash men for being men, but if a man does that to a woman, well then, that's just spousal mistreatment. What a world we live in, am I right?
Here's why you should never ever chase a man or desire him or send signals that you are actually wanting to pursue him. Here's why. I was speaking to a psychologist recently about this and I found this mind-blowing and I was like, you know what, let me just share this because what the hell? Men pursue women as some sort of defense strategy. It's like a protective thing. What I mean by that is when a man feels like you are chasing him and you desire him and you want him and you're coming after him, he feels a great sense of anxiety.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Woman, please stop embarrassing yourself. We already know the truth. You don't feel like you should have to do anything to attract a high quality man. You just want to stand around and let them come to you. But sister, that's not how it works. You see, the types of men that you desire don't have to pursue you. You'll always pursue them. That's the way it's been since the dawn of time. Women will always find themselves naturally attracted to the men they desire. And the men who know this, they don't really have to put in much work to pursue. They just have to put the work into themselves. That's why they're well-dressed, they're well-built, they focused on their money, which coincidentally are qualities that you find attractive. So when you see a man like this, you are naturally drawn to him. He's not going to be filled with anxiety when you approach him because he is expecting you to do so. He really doesn't have to do much. And if you don't approach him, he really couldn't care less because there's a line of women around the block who are willing to. So yeah, you're not off to a good start, sister. What else you got?
He literally feels so anxious. He starts to question things. His mind starts to go into overdrive and he's analyzing you. He's questioning, why does she desire me? What does she want from me? How comes she's coming after me? It's abnormal to them. It's weird. That's why a lot of men say when women come after them, they get the ick, right? So if you're actively pursuing a man and you're going after him, you know, this is why I don't like this whole, oh, it's the 21st century, we can propose to men if we want, we can take control, we can shoot our shot. No, you never ever lower yourself as a woman and go after the man and pursue the man because it's actually seen as a potential threat to them. Their brain tells them that something is off key here, something is abnormal here, something feels very strange here. They literally get anxiety when a woman desires them.
I don't think any of that's true.
Well, it is awfully considerate of you to be concerned with Chad's mental well-being, and it's also kind of a funny coincidence how your concern for Chad's mental health also coincides with your desire to never want to walk up to a man to talk to him. So I'm gonna give you a wooden nickel's worth of free advice there, sister. We all know that you follow the law of basic Chadonomics, which means that you are trying to chase after the top 5% of men. It's no secret. We all know it. We all accept it. It's your choice. With that being said, you are going after men who are extremely valuable on the dating market, significantly more valuable than you. So it really isn't a wise idea to be going online and talking smack about Chad's mental well-being while also saying that approaching him is beneath you and lowering your value when, sister, you don't have nearly as much value as you assume, and Chad knows this. That's why you approach him, and he chooses whether or not you're worthy of his time and not the other way around.
They question it, okay? They question it. They see it as like a really strange thing. The reason why it causes anxiety in them is because they always need to be in control. They need to be in control of their identity. Men always want to be in control of their identity. That's why they pursue you. That's why they call you. That's why they plan the date with you. It's all on their terms. They need to control that. They want to be in control of their identity and how that whole process goes. Otherwise, it's a threat, because now it feels unfamiliar. Now this is weird. This is strange. This is abnormal to me. I don't know what this feeling is. Okay? You do not ever want to be chasing a man. It literally causes anxiety in them. Do not ever chase a man. Ever.
Sweet. You couldn't ignore me if you tried.
All right, fair enough. You're not going to pursue the men, and the men aren't going to pursue you because there's nothing worth pursuing. Every single thing that you just listed is a neurosis that exists in the head of the modern woman. The confident men that you desire really aren't going to have any form of anxiety about this. They aren't going to feel strange or out of place that a woman is approaching them because these types of men get approached all the freaking time. And come on, woman, it's a little late for you to be pretending that you actually care about the mental well-being of men when everything you've said is nothing but condescending towards those very same men. Everything that you're talking about has absolutely nothing to do with power or control or anything like that. It has everything to do with your insecurities about men not desiring you as much as they did back when you were young and had some value on the dating market. And now you find yourself riddled with anxiety as you dunk your head deep into the denial river and thinking that you actually have a chance with these men who are now ignoring you the same way that you ignored the illustrious members of the bottom 95% club. It's almost poetic when you think about it. Yeah, almost.
Hi, we have to take a moment for some shameless self-promotion.
And I would like to take a moment to propose a toast to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon, whose support of this channel is never forgotten in any way, shape, or form. Here's to you, gentlemen and gents. May the road rise to meet you. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find anywhere else. I post up there twice a week with content ranging from video games to music to conspiracy theories. Check it out. The link is in the pinned comment down below.
The Lord must have answered my prayers on finding a man who knows how to treat me right, because why did my first date with this kid just go like this? So I meet this said boy in one of the classes that I randomly switched into, and my professor had mentioned this kid to me before because he also missed the first week of class, and I didn't know who it was, but we ended up sitting by each other randomly, and we were like, oh, you missed class too. So yeah, we become friends, and then he's like, hey, do you want to get food? And you know, with all my failed attempts at anything ever with men, I was just like, you know what? Sure. Free food, something casual, we're friends, like, you know. So I'm like texting him the day of, I'm like, we're just going somewhere casual, right? Like, what should I wear? And he's like, I already made reservations. And I'm like, oh. So then I was like, this is about to be a date. So I was fine with it. So I put on my little red dress. Tell me why this man pulls up in the nicest car that I have ever stepped foot in. I was like, what is going on? First of all, he's standing outside the passenger door waiting for me, compliments me, opens up the door for me, men take notes, closes the door behind me, and gets in. This car has like a whole TV screen on it. You guys saw me posting the M4. That was his car.
Give me some money. Give me some money.
Take note, gentlemen and gents, if a woman does this, then she is not worth the time of day. In case you missed it, at the very beginning of this episode, she was referring to her date as boy and kid. Highly emasculating words that show that she has absolutely no respect for this guy whatsoever. And also take note about how she talks about her date. She doesn't mention anything about him, only where he plans on taking her, both the exterior and interior of his car, nothing about him. That's because she has already decided to put him in the friend zone, and no matter what he does, he will never get out of it. That's why she will not refer to this guy as a man. This is why leading with your wallet is completely pointless. It won't buy her affection, it'll just buy her expectations. And the more money you ultimately waste, the more unreasonable her expectations become. We can tell that she has absolutely no intention whatsoever of respecting this man, but that's not going to stop her from using him, which just proves the valuable lesson we already know. There is absolutely zero point to being a simp.
Then he brings me to a really nice restaurant, and we have a really nice dinner, and like, it was great. Like, it was just good, real conversation. Like, it wasn't awkward, you know, like, we were already kind of friends by that point, so it was just like, it was just fun. Most importantly, he pays for the dinner, and then we're right by the mall, so I'm like, hey, could I run in really quick and buy myself a skirt for the game tomorrow? I wanted the Lululemon Align skirt, which is already just like an expensive skirt for no reason. He bought it for me. He bought me the skirt on the first date. Like, hello? And this wasn't like a, yeah, you can pay for it. I was like, no, like, I got it. I'll pay for it. You paid for dinner. Like, I pay for my own things. People don't pay for me, but you pay for it. Like, hello? Why are these women settling? To top it off, of course, we stopped and got dessert, and then we drove back. He dropped me off, you know, wished me a farewell. He didn't try no funny business. It was all respectful, which is like honestly a first time for me. Like, I'm so sorry if my standard is that low, but like the amount of guys that just like cannot leave without anything on the first date, it's so embarrassing and so annoying. So I was so refreshed by that whole entire night.
Boy, there's no real easy way to say this, but look, you're a simp.
What I find interesting is how she brought up the fact that so many of her previous dates have wanted to smash after taking her out, but she doesn't really talk about how many times she rejected them. That's awfully interesting. But what's even more interesting is how she keeps pointing out everything that has to do about money while glossing off anything of any substance. For example, the conversation was nice, but that was nothing because he bought her some shorts from Lululemon. Yeah, he opened up the door for her, but man, his car is nice. Yeah, he didn't try to do anything, but he let me film a TikTok in his car. Everything is about you, woman. You have actually not mentioned one good thing about this guy. You are clearly not interested in this guy in any romantic context. And you're also clearly not physically attracted to him. But you're still going to allow him to debase himself as he tries to impress you by treating you with dignity and buying you all sorts of stuff. But in the back of your mind, you've already determined that he is just too good of a friend to date.
It's quite literally the best date I've ever been on, and he let me make a TikTok in his car. Like, that was, like, what? And on top of that, today, he gave me and my dad free tickets to go to his race this weekend. So yeah, that's how my first date, not just first any date, first date in a long time went. And it's hilarious because literally right before I went out with him, I made a whole video on the fact that I just hate men. And I made that because I totally thought that's what I believed in, and that chivalry was dead, and that this was just gonna be like another like first date, you know. But no, guys, I have met my match. I have been proven wrong. Not to mention, he didn't just open my car door every single time we got in and out of the car, which was frequently. He opened every single door for me, and he still does so and gets mad when I don't open my own doors, even going to class. So yeah, man, I think you need to take notes, or my standard is just unbelievably low right now, but I feel like you just set the bar pretty high. Compared to my past, at least, this is definitely an improvement. But yeah, all in all, my first date went really well. Real conversations, no funny business, chivalry. Keep it coming. But yeah, I gotta go. Hope you enjoyed my little first date story time. Peace out. Love you guys.
You! I will think of you as I throw up into the toilet.
Lady, if you've actually gone and made a video about how much you hate men, then we already know the type of men that you desire, and this dude does not fit the bill in the slightest. You have not mentioned once how cute he is, or how he makes you feel, or if there's a future together. Every single thing you've described are things that he does for you. He provides you with free food, free entertainment, and treats you like a princess. So yeah, naturally, you're going to make an exception for him in every capacity except in the romantic ones. You're most certainly not going to sleep with this guy. You're going to make him pay for the sins of Chad. And come to think of it, you haven't mentioned a single thing about what you do for this guy. You're clearly just using him. That's because you know, just as much as we all do, that you cannot lower yourself to respect a simp. And I assure you, sister, chivalry is not only dead, but you killed it, dug up the corpse, urinated all over the bones, and then are forcing simps to clean it up. But joke's on you, sister. One day that guy's gonna realize he has way too much dignity to be wasting it on a hussy like you. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.